you never know what information you might get when it comes to memory competition for some specific events. For example, it might be names, it might be words, images, all these other ones that don't have a set amount of information like cards or numbers. So what you have to do is you have to know exactly for yourself, okay, I suck at memorizing X, Y, and Z. So if I have the chance, do I skip it or do I force myself to learn it? So for example, names, oh man, it's just a battle for me. So what might happen is maybe you come across longer names, harder names like this. For you, you're like, oh man, do I try to memorize it or not? And so you have to figure out for yourself, what are you trying to achieve in this competition? But is it better for you to skip it or memorize it? Now for me, I like to skip names I have no idea how to create an image for. It mostly happens with international names, but I just skip the hard ones because it makes no sense to spend 1 minute on one name while in the same time I could get 5 other simple names in the same time. And all that matters in a competition is getting the points. You don't get points based on, oh, this name is a little bit harder than this one, so you're getting more points here. No, that's not how it works. And so that's why you want to be able to figure all this stuff out. Also, for me, for names, when it comes to the USA Memory Championship, baby faces are the worst because they all look kind of similar to me with their big eyes and like smiles and stuff. And so when I try to memorize them, I mix them up very easily. And so for me, I figure out the information that I need to be able to skip. And the same thing might be with words, but it kind of depends on which word event that you're going. For this one specifically, Memory League, it doesn't matter that you're skipping lines or words or anything like that. You don't get docked points. But in traditional competitions, you have this whole row that you have to memorize. If you miss one, you lose half of the points. You miss two, you lose all of the points in that specific column. And so sometimes you can't really skip information. So in this format, some words you might come across and like, man, the same thing. How do I create an image for it? Or I don't know what that is. It kind of like shocks you when you first see it. Would that be great for you to skip it and just move on to get more words, or to kind of figure it out? Because there's always going to be times where something's going to shock you, and that's what you kind of have to prepare yourself for, because when it shocks you, you're losing time. And so if you plan ahead, like, okay, any long hard names for names, I'm going to skip. Boom. And so when you see it, you're like, oh, that's a long name, skip it. You don't waste any time on it anymore. And so that's something I just want you to keep in mind when you're going to memory competitions, that specific events are going to have these things where you have to decide for yourself and experiment. And I beg you, experiment before you go to a competition. Experiment on, okay, how does my score look if I skip these hard names or these hard words? Okay, great, cool. Now let's see if I try to force myself to memorize them. How's my score then? And then compare them, because you want to go with whatever way that you're using, whatever words you skipping, names you might be passing over, faces even, whatever's going to give you the higher score, that's what you should be going with, right? Well, of course, eventually you want to get that skill, the valuable skill that any name you come across, you can memorize it, boom, like that. So there's kind of different phases on what you're going to be doing, but it's very, very common to have like some information that you just find really difficult, and skipping it might be the best option. So I just want you to be aware of that, and that is an actual option and strategy that you could be using for different memory events that do have those random elements to it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.